Hey, welcome everyone. Sir Heroscape here today, again with update number 8. Uh, Monday morning, here we go. Another start to a crazy week. It is crazy this morning. The image and the information is going to have lots of speculation from you guys, and we just get to see something very new. I think some similar vibes, but very new to the world of Heroscape. This is definitely an interesting but exciting announcement. So let's look at it. And there you go. try and soak that in for a minute here. This is the design art for what is being called the Ironclad Collective there at the top. And yeah, these designs are just like are gross and like horror. I don't even know. So let's just take a look. So this is some sort of chick with a gun and some tentacles. So some sort of binding ability or maybe some sort of grab ability, but no normal arm. It's just tentacles, and then it looks like some sort of normal hand on the other side. Then you've got this hooked dude that looks kind of like a, what's that D&D, like Hooked Horror, or there's some sort of cave D&D thing that has hooks kind of like that. But that thing just is a weird and obscene. Then this one just looks so like grotesque. I mean, look at that design. It's like some weird spear blade sword thing, and then it looks like there's this, dividing. It looks like a Morrow divider, half baked. It's like, but it's not a divider. It's like some sort of, it looks like there's a head here in the center, and then it looks like there's a growth or a second person on the side there. There's just very grotesque, and they're both holding the same spear, which is very interesting. This one, I don't even know where the head on this one is. It almost looks like the torso, that looks like that's a mouth. The horns those horns kind of look like the same as this guy's claws, but these look like they're on his shoulders or on his head. I can't really tell where the eyes on this one are, unless maybe it's the center between those horns. There's some sort of spiky, I can't really tell. It's not much of a head at all. So that thing has just got some gnarly club thing. And then this doesn't look, I don't think this is I don't see a head on this at all either. I don't think this is a individual unit. It could be, it might be sentient, but this also could be a destructible object, something that you can interact with, but the wheels might indicate that it is its own sentient object. I just don't see like a target point, like a head, unless maybe those things wrapping around the top are like its arms, and it's like holding the gun on its like back, and its legs are its wheels. I just can't tell where the head on that is, if it is one. This is so crazy. Oh man, this one just looks incredible. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I mean, that mouth is so massive and gross, and he's got some sort of like exhaust pipes off of his back. Like, what the heck? This dude definitely has a chomp ability. Definitely some sort of grotesque insta-kill or devour ability. Absolutely. Oh man, this guy looks the most normal, quote unquote normal of them all. Can't tell if that's a gun or a blade on his left arm, but that gun arm, machine gun arm, is pretty gnarly, and he just looks pretty cool. He looks like he's got very armored legs. Can't tell about his chest if that's armored or not, but wow. And then this guy is just some bizarre, like, I can't tell if those are machine guns, if they're rocket launchers on the sides, if those are some sort of boosters. They look like canisters. They don't really look like guns, but maybe they're like mini missiles. They shoot off mini missiles. and then I can't really tell what's going on with his legs. It almost looks like he's got tires in the middle there, the joints between his torso and his leg. Anyway, that is crazy. I'm kind of speechless. I'm just soaking this all in. This is a very, very unique design, and those head designs are pretty incredible. I mean, those are very likely different head designs for different units that they might want to do. That is just gnarly. So we do have a little bit of information from the developers on what this faction is, this Ironclad Collective. So let's read about that, and then we can talk a little more. All right, the Ironclad Collective faction lore. For eons unknown on their planet of Noxdorma, the Ironclad have been waging war using the cold logic of their data cogitators and the hardened steel of their inorganic weapon systems. The limitations and mortality of their organic species, reforged and forgotten, as countless generations focused on perfecting their methods of absolute destruction. Every outcome on the battlefield is pre-calculated. Every possible strategy is processed before the first shots are fired. The collective's military composition constantly adapts to new battlefield conditions. As they upgrade their cybernetics to counter enemy tactics, sometimes even relinquishing individuality to ameliorate themselves into combined monstrous war machines of searing intensity. Okay, so upgrade their science to counter, sometimes even relinquishing individuality to ameliorate themselves into combined monstrous war machines. Yikes. So maybe they combine into each other? Oh boy. Members of the collective reflect their harsh philosophies of war in various death masks. Okay. Creating metallic reflections of nightmares and creating a visual persona of fear and despair in the minds of their adversaries. Every potential edge in combat is analyzed, even the psychological advantages gained through uncompromising terror tactics. Huh. Interesting. So that's a lot of words. Half of it I'm still kind of processing, but to me, it sounds like these guys are going to be very order marker based, because in Heroscape, the way you adapt to the game is order marker flexibility, right? Because prior to a round, your ability to kind of perceive what your turns are going to be is what separates good players from not so good players, or better players from good players, or the best players from good players, whatever it is. Order markers and kind of how you manage those really is a skill. And so if these units have pre-calculated strategies, or if they have the ability to adapt on the battlefield, as it says here, that to me indicates order marker flexibility. So maybe the ability to switch order markers mid-round, or maybe the ability not to use order markers at all, or maybe the ability to see your enemy's order markers so that you can kind of make decisions based off of that. That's what that's saying to me, unless there's some sort of new mechanic with order markers or some sort of turn system that is being changed in the way that this is going to be played. And if we look at their images, there's nothing particularly indicative of their ability to, I guess, precognition or whatnot. I mean, their face masks and their tech tends to indicate that, maybe they have some advanced tech that, like it was saying, analyzes the battlefield. So, in my mind, that comes to mind is like Live, Die, Repeat with Tom Cruise, that move where the aliens basically replay the day over and over until they win, to make sure they don't make mistakes. So maybe your ability isn't order markers, it's switching out results you don't like. So maybe you have the ability to, if you fail a roll, not fail a roll, right? Or if you once per round or once per game or so, something like that, where you have the ability to kind of decide your fate or determine the results of a particular interaction. That would be my guess. But these things are gnarly, man. They are not Morrow. This is a new planet, new species. Definitely organic cyborg, some like half cyborg, half organic matter. Not really sure anything other than that, other than they're grotesque and gnarly. So a fair bit there to unpack with a new faction being announced, a new world, right? So odds are we're going to get to see other factions, other species from that world. But a world with those creatures is a crazy and a twisted world indeed. They seem to be the bad guys, so to speak, right? I could see potentially a new general, or they're very Valkyrish to me. So maybe maybe they follow Valkyrie. But yeah, they are no friendlies. And I'm not sure what to think in terms of abilities. I think this is going to be a new space that, again, that precognition kind of that they were talking about in the designer notes, I think is alluding to the fact that we're going to have some more flexibility with order markers, at least for them and their faction. When we think from the VC, we had Rygarn. Rygarn had the ability, right, to switch order markers, which was massive. He's such a good character for so many armies. The flexibility to move just one order marker per round, right, is massive in the game of Heroscape, just the way that it's played with order markers. And so if a faction is designed around the ability to adjust and adapt on the fly in a game, that's pretty significant. That's pretty significant. So really curious to see how they implement that design space here in the next stage. So anyway, feel free to throw some thoughts, your own theories, your own ideas. Exciting new details every day, it seems, at least weekdays. So hope you get excited for tomorrow's as well, and spend today thinking, dreaming, theoryscaping, and wondering when we're officially going to get it announced. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, because we're all hyped up and we're all ready. So we'll just eat these little breadcrumbs as they come along. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.